Then like getting to the end, we're playing the board. We had a little pineapple pizza war or whatever, and so a few people like, oh well, them on the board, they like pineapple pizza, they have to go down.
Welcome back, everybody. This is episode 6 of the Mercy Lens episodic series. And today I have another special guest with me, somebody that I'm looking forward to. And with everything that's gone on over the course of the last couple of weeks, I knew that this had to be my next guest. I'm so happy that he's able to join me on a short notice and also a couple of reschedules on my behalf since we last spoke, anyway. So, uh, let's welcome the major of Revival Squad. You've probably seen him around. He's super active throughout our Discord server and plays with a ton of different people. I think every time I watch you stream, you're playing with somebody different and, doing your thing on Apex Legends. But again, the major of Revival Squad, MPN DemiGodShaud. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. How are you today?
I'm all right. Like I said, I'm totally excited to see what unfolds in this episode. So I want to just kind of like I do with every episode here. Let's just start from the beginning, where it all started for you. Kind of maybe how you came up with your gamer tag, or just at least tell us how long have you been gaming? What game made you fall in love with gaming in general?
Pretty much, I guess I'll start off with the gamer tag. So I had this phase where I'm like in love with like demigods, like Hercules, Achilles, and then like Percy Jackson was like a movie that I kind of like watched a lot, and I'm like, oh, all these. So like my private Discord server for just my stream is Camp Half Blood. So pretty much just came up with demigod, and I'm like, this is too boring. And then I put my name on it, and I'm like, kind of rhymes a little bit.
Yeah.
Demigod shot. It was like it's a nice little ring, so I picked that. As far as gaming though, growing up, I watched my dad play in a lot of Madden tournaments. He was pretty big on Madden, so like he'd like put a controller in my hand and unplug it, and I think I'm playing until I was like finally old enough to where he's like beating up on me, and I'm like crying, like, oh man, can I at least win once? And no, he never let me win. But pretty much after that, I just kind of fell in love with gaming. I didn't play my first shooter until I hit like middle school, which was like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. So that was my first shooter that kind of got me like hooked into it, and then after that, it's just been an open world of gaming for me.
Yeah, I don't know if as if I've ever shared the story on this podcast yet. I have talked about it before because it is a memory that's burnt into my mind probably for the rest of my life. But it's funny you bring up the playing your dad or playing against your dad and Madden and stuff like that, and him unplugging the controller, and then it kind of evolved into like him just kicking your butt throughout the game. But my dad was the exact same way. I'll never forget it. PlayStation 1. NCAA football 99. My dad would just let me have it. Like he'd be beating me by 40 plus at halftime. He would then, because I was old enough to play, he would switch controllers with me. I think I was in second grade. He would switch controllers with me at halftime and be the team that I was, and I'd be his team. And he'd come back and beat me again. It was the most humiliating point of my life, probably. The other game I remember still on the PlayStation, I think, was like Madden 2001. I think it was had I think a Broncos player on the cover of that. But yeah, It's funny that we have something in common as far as the way we were treated on Madden growing up. Unfortunately, I haven't gotten much better at the game since then. I do still play it from time to time, but I don't play against anybody that can watch me. It's mostly just single player stuff. So when I lose to the computer, I'm the only one that sees it.
That's good. But the only good thing about the story is I finally beat up on him now, so it's like my turn.
See, yeah, my dad was just up here visiting. I don't know, maybe a month ago now, and we played some golf on the PlayStation. And he's used to like Tiger Woods golf on like the PlayStation 2. It was super easy back then, and now it's so realistic. Like you have to like he was struggling so hard with pulling the joystick back and then flicking it straight forward to hit the ball. and he'd be like he'd pull it back and then he'd like do this curve as he was trying to you know, push the ball up, and it just shank off into the weeds every time. And so yeah, we battled it out on golf now that we're a bit older, but it was fun beating up on him for a change. I think we only golfed 9 because he couldn't handle it after that.
Oof, that's such a good feeling, man.
It was nice to get revenge, that is for sure. All right, so let's go up a little bit now into the MPN side of gaming. We've shared some fun stories here to kick off today's show, but you know, the Mercy Lens, it revolves around people's stories in the MPN community and everything that they've done and just kind of what they experience, because everybody's story is different and it's incredibly unique but also entertaining, I think, to learn more about people as they come on this show and they get to share some of the sides of MPN that they've experienced that maybe I haven't or other members haven't gotten to experience in some sort of way. So we're gonna jump into it now. What was it when you were out there trying to look for a clan, or when you were offered an opportunity to join MPN? What was it that like attracted you to MPN specifically the most?
Well, I was in a community at the time that I really didn't care for too much. There was a lot going on that made me not want to be there. So I got on Reddit one day. I think it might have been like one of your posts that I seen. Because you have a couple of them up there, and I seen it. I was reading through, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give this a try. And then I filled out the survey, waited like a couple of hours to get a response, and then I'm like, okay, I'm in here. Let's do this. Um, I got in, everybody started talking, man, and I'm like, okay, this is a good fit. And I guess everybody kind of fed off my energy because I didn't come in too quiet. I'm like, hey, I want to make friends.
Yeah.
And after that, I think I started off from Genesis. Genesis is it's my home squad. I love them to death. It was kind of tough leaving them, but it had to happen.
Yeah. I do remember you in Genesis Squad. I remember kind of, I mean, I don't want to brag, kind of hand picking your name out of the bunch there when you were making that transition into Revival Squad, just because, again, like you said, that energy, right? That's one thing that I know I've talked about on this show before, and I talk about it all the time, is like the people, this gaming community, if you come in wanting to meet people and wanting to talk to people and making friends to play with on several different games, obviously the one that you join for, but also, you know, we play a lot of other stuff that we don't necessarily advertise for too. And it's like if you just join and you be social with people and you show up to activities that we do and events and all that fun stuff, and just, you know, make yourself known, the chances of you meeting people at a quicker rate are so much better. And I think we all saw that when you first joined, and you know, how talkative you were and how fun you were to be around. I think everybody thoroughly enjoys you know, either hanging out with you in Discord or playing the game with you. Um, but with all that said, you said you were in another community of some sort. So when you first joined MPN, like day one, was it everything that you had expected? Was it different from what you had in mind of what a typical gaming community was? Or you know, what did you think, I guess, day one after you've officially joined, you got your roles, you're in a squad now, joining up with Genesis. What was that like for you in the first 24 hours?
Well, I came in with an open mind because I didn't want to be like, all communities are the same or whatever. So I'm like, I'm gonna try this out. So I get in there and I had like all the heavy hitters in there. I had Queen Hera, Mediocre Girl, Tezzy was in the Epsilon. So I'm like, okay, so here we go. I just started talking off rip, and everybody's like so welcoming. I think my phone just pinged nonstop for like the first hour. So after that, I'm like, okay, I'm saying thank you, thank you, thank you. I just kind of waited. I'm like, all right, maybe it'll stop. It didn't stop. So after that, I'm like, I'm talking. A few days later, I get a message like, hey, we have these officer spots, and I'm like, all right, cool. I kind of didn't want to do it. But she mediocre messaged me again. She was like, just try training out, see how it goes and everything. And I think I changed my name the second day I was here. After that, maybe like a week later, I ordered this actual jersey. So I was like, man, I'm actually starting to really love it here. And then I tried out the officer. I did my first training. I'm like, okay, this not everybody's like, it's not as bad as, in like all the rank structure, the honor code. Like they were like, that's gonna be the tough part, learning that. But actually doing the job is a million times easier. So I was like, all right, I'll do it. Did my training, I fell in love, and I'm like, all right, I can help out the community now. So ever since that day, I've been trying to help out anybody that I can. So definitely love it here.
Yeah, it's awesome to hear and to see you get so involved so early on. I mean, it just shows how you got to where you're at and as a leader in our community and somebody that is well respected all throughout the entire community. Um so okay, I'm going to change it up a little bit from normal because I think that yours has a unique story to it, but also I just feel like you're one of at least the few people that have been on here so far that has transitioned from one squad, this one being Genesis around Apex Legends, into Revival Squad, which was also an Apex Legends squad, but was in different divisions too. So I guess the kind of how I want to take it next is what was that transition period like? Because you were in Genesis Squad, you became and started doing your officer training, kind of like what you just talked about, and then it was just kind of dropped on you an opportunity to transfer to not only to a new squad, but to take over as the major, or as a squad leader of another squad that had been struggling, if I remember right, needed some leadership guidance, and to bring somebody in like you that had never, at least in MPN, had that kind of experience. Just kind of walk us through all of that, the people listening and watching, what that was like, kind of just starting out from officer training in Genesis to have to leave those people that you've known from the very beginning and then became a squad leader of people that up until that point you really hadn't associated with all that often, at least not on a regular basis. So take the listeners through all of that. What was that transitional period like for anybody that might be considering it right now?
Um, I thought it was gonna be tough. Like, I had like the craziest, like maybe like month and a half in Genesis before I left. Like, I got promoted to captain. Absalom became major, and then like 2 weeks later, I'm like, oh wait, there's a major position open. I'm like, whoa, wait, I just got my feet wet in here, and you're like, yo, it's a squad. So I'm like, all right. So I'm like, these guys believe in me, so I'm gonna do it. So I mean, it was tough leaving them. I really like, they're like all my friends and the closest people that I know so far in this community. So I'm like, all right, time to branch out and start another part of it. So I get over to Revival and I'm like, okay, so hey, what's going on? So I'm like, talking to everybody, trying to meet as many of my new members as possible so they don't feel like I want to be approachable to them. So of course, I messaged my officer staff first. Roka, he's awesome. We have Kemp, Grief. That's how it was at the beginning. I had us and those two. So Grief always talks a little trash, so I like Grief a lot. Kemp's always like, backing up, and Roka's like, guiding me like through like, telling me about each member because he's been there quite a while. So that was cool. I got in there and I'm like, okay, so this is my squad. And then I'm like, all right, what do I do now? And they're like, oh wait, this is your show. So I'm like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. So we started planning out, little things like trying to get people involved with little activities and stuff. My big goal for my first month was recruiting. I wanted to fill up the squad, get things really going. So I did a little recruiting challenge. The challenge went pretty good. My captain won, and I had to pay him, of course. I was trying to win my own competition, but it didn't work out too well. But
Yep.
after that, it's been pretty smooth ever since then, man.
Yeah, well, that actually transitions perfectly into the next topic here. You say things are going well, and August in particular proved that because you just became the major of a squad that again needed some leadership guidance, and you started working with your officer staff right out of the gate, and what, not even a month, maybe a month later, you guys are looking at the end of August, you won the Rivalry Rumble Championship and won Squad of the Month as well. So let's talk about the Rivalry Rumble Championship because I feel like this was the longest event that MPN has ever hosted. It lasted from June into August, as well as a lot of drama behind some of it, which was makes it interesting. And you actually took over Revival Squad pretty much like 3/4 of the way through that event. And not only did you take over the squad and finished out the event, but you guys ended up winning it as well. And I guess for those watching or listening that aren't familiar with the Rivalry Rumble Championship, what the event was, it was a tournament bracket style where squads went against each other in like a clip montage type video. Each squad got up to 3 minutes of footage. It could be any clips that they wanted. It could be skill based. It could just be insane clips. It could just be something funny. There really wasn't like a criteria. It just was whatever you wanted to fill your 3 minutes up with as a squad. And at the end of every week, those clips would be submitted. We would edit the videos, post them on the website, and then you got the weekend to vote on which video was your favorite. And there were different tactics that different squads used to get those votes, whether it was reaching out to obviously A, their entire squad, but B, their entire division for support, friends and family, and just people on social media as well was a lot of the common ways that I saw people were trying to get votes. But it definitely made it interesting when you were going up against squads in your own division too, where now those votes are split in half and you got to go outside of your division to find people in the community to get votes. So it's a little bit of both, collecting clips and making the best video, but also being kind of like a guy that like a salesman or something, going out there and trying to persuade people for your vote. And boy, 2 months of that, 3 months, I guess, technically, because it was the end of August, it gets to be a tiresome event, especially later on in the rounds when you would win 1 week, you got a week off, and then you had to go back at it for another week. When the event first started, it was, it'd be a couple weeks before you had to do it because there were more squads involved. But as you get towards the end, you're constantly trying to go out there and get votes and put clips together and all that good stuff. So the ending was definitely the best. Because it made it for a little bit more of a stressful situation, but in a good way. It made it more fun. The squads were a lot more competitive. The footage was, selected a little bit closer as to what we're going to put in those videos, and it was just a really cool event. So let's start there. Tell me about what that was like to take over a squad that, was halfway through an event. You guys were still winning, and how you were able to keep that momentum going into the later rounds. And then also let us know, what was it like when you guys found out that you had to face the board of directors, was kind of like a thing we threw at the end there to make it a little bit more fun. But what was it like in the squad knowing that you guys had won the event when it was all said and done?
Oh man, from me making my transition, I kind of felt like Kevin Durant a little bit. A little ring chasing. I was like, wow, man, I kind of got handed this though. But it was pretty fun, man. Like, so what I did was, I'm just getting everybody hyped because I already lost this part before with Genesis, and I'm like, I'm not losing this again. So I'm tagging people, making sure like, hey, send me your clips, send me your clips. I'm like almost daily. I need clips. I need something. I don't care if it's like one kill, just give me something. So after that, we start posting and everything. I'm like, yo, family, friends, and like me like knowing everybody in the community or a lot of people, I'm hey, so hey, what's up, friend, how you doing today, so who you voting for? Little things like that, just to try to, put the thought in their head, hey, Revival's here, don't forget about us. And then, I finally meet up with Hippie, which was the craziest round we had with Titan. Oh man, I think we both had like 300 and something votes apiece, and I'm sitting here like me and him are DMing each other back and forth. We're like sweating. I'm like, yo, Hippie, this has to stop. I want to go to sleep. I think that whole weekend, I'm just sitting here nonstop, me and him messaging. And ever since like that part of the tournament, we've been like best friends ever since that day. So it's been a pretty fun ride. And then like getting to the end, we're playing the board. We had a little pineapple pizza war or whatever, and so a few people like, oh well, them on the board, they like pineapple pizza, they have to go down. So I'm like, wait, you got to be, cool about this because it's all right to me. But so after that, we get against the board. I'm like, I popped into your stream and I'm like, yo, I hope you're getting some clips ready because this is gonna be a fun round. So I'm like, just a little trash talking, but fun. But that day we won, everybody was excited. It was such a great moment for the squad. I think we really needed it. Then you came in posting in all like the little pictures and telling us we can put the little number 1 medallion on and everything. And I'm like, all right, cool. So then I see people changing. I'm like, oh, they're excited about this. All right, this is gonna help out. And it's been a great ride so far. Like the momentum, I'm just gonna use that and carry it over and keep the squad hype about it for a long time.
Yeah, it was an awesome event, and it was even better to get to see the squad's reaction after you guys had won, especially the people that consistently posted clips from the very beginning all the way to the championship rounds. Those were the ones that really, really bought into that and what we were doing, and just did a phenomenal job. And whether it was people submitting clips or going out and getting votes or just voting themselves, it made the community a lot more interactive, engaged, but also a little bit more friendly. Like you said, you and Hippie becoming friends after your guys' finals round, and just really friendly and good competition all amongst MPN, and seeing the Apex squad go at it with a Call of Duty squad like that there in the end was really, really fun to watch, because it shows that we still have a fantastic following for both games, and there's a promising future for both of them here in MPN. So that's what I took away from it. I really thought it was an awesome event, and obviously getting to watch all of our members show off their skills and just what they can do on video was even better yet. It was a treat every single week to get to do that throughout the event. So congratulations again to you and Revival Squad for pulling that one through. Like I said, 3 months is a long time, a long event, the longest we've done, and so many great clips came out of that. I'm truly am happy for what you guys accomplished as a squad. One other cool thing that you guys did too, that we found out at the 1st of September, was you guys also became the featured squad of the month, as we call it here in MPN. And basically what this title is we look through our numbers at the end of every month, and we look at basically how many people left each squad, and then we try to find out why, and we do all these trends and try to figure out, what can we do better. But we take some time, we celebrate one squad in the community that was able to retain the most members at the end of every month. And not only did you guys win the Rivalry Rumble Championship, not only did you come in as a major throughout that event and kind of taking over a squad, as we've already talked about, but then you go on and you win the featured squad of the month, meaning that Revival Squad kept the most amount of people in our community for the month of August. So a huge month for Revival. And I guess talk a little bit about that, what that kind of means too, knowing that it was kind of a challenge for you at first coming in, never being a major before, working with people that you hadn't done so yet, but coming in like that, and your officer staff specifically being as supportive as they are, because sometimes, you bring a new guy in and you get like these weird feels and you don't know what to think. I don't think Revival Squad had that at all. I think that they were supporting you from day one, and really just wanted to be there to help. And it proves as you guys win Squad of the Month for August. So take me through that, what that means, and how you guys achieved all that.
I definitely couldn't do it without my officer staff, man. They've been like a big help helping me transition over for the month. Also my squad being great, you know. So pretty much I got a lot of CMS work that month. Like I'm new to this, but they're like bringing in recruits like crazy, and I'm like, yo, what's going on? I'm like, this is the challenge. Somebody wants to win. I started a competition. I can see it now. So we get going. I'm like on CMS almost daily because somebody's bringing in like one recruit, two recruits, and I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm trying to meet everybody. All my officers are in the chat like almost all day, just keeping activity up, making sure everybody stays. We're playing games with everybody. Think I needed a break from Apex after that, man. I'm like, all right, let's just slow down a little bit. I was like, you guys play anything else? So we hop on COD or something else, just to keep everything running smooth over here. And pretty much we get through, we get down to what is it, closer to the end of the month. I'm looking at like a retention rate, the drops and everything, and I'm like, oh, we're actually having a great month. I think we brought in like 22 people and dropped I think like 13 maybe. But it's just like people leaving and stuff, and can't really control that. But like we tried to control what we could. So as far as that, um you want to like engage with everybody constantly. So I think I actually left my notifications on for the chat and the officer chat. Probably the worst decision I've ever made because my phone was pinging nonstop. So I'm like bringing my charger to work just to make sure I'm talking to people. So I wanted them to feel welcome, feel like a family over in Revival Squad, and I did. I had to do whatever it took to get there.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned the notification side of things because I still to this day do not have our server muted. I've muted a few channels that you know I don't pay too much attention to with everything else that we have, but my phone hasn't been on vibrate in probably 3 years. It stays on vibrate. It still vibrates like crazy, but I've never muted the server for whatever reason. I can't bring myself to do it. I feel like I'm missing out on something or something. I have went on vacation, so my phone wasn't necessarily with me. But other than that, it's on and it's vibrating nonstop. But I like it now that I'm used to it. I used to not put it on vibrate until my girlfriend ended up moving in with me and stuff, and then she was trying to sleep, and you would just hear that Discord beep over and over again. She's like, "You got to shut that thing off or something." So now it's on vibrate, and I keep it away from her at night. But other than that, yeah, it does help with engagement or being active in our server like that, and it speaks for itself, right? Like the squads that are doing the best are the ones that are the most engaged with its members, and it's doing events throughout their own squad, and it's playing the games that you guys play, and just being friends is really all it takes, is to just truly go out there and be social and just make friends and make yourself available when people need you. So yeah, again, hats off to Revival Squad for the month of August. You guys are just killing it, and I don't think it could be better timing than to bring you onto the show today and get to talk about that a little bit more, because that's just to win an event and then go on and win the featured squad of the month too, are just back-to-back W's. They're huge achievements, and you guys are not showing any sign of slowing down anytime soon. So that's what I'm excited to see what the future brings.
Oh yeah, man, I can't wait for it, man.
Hey, it's been fun so far. We're gonna kick it over to our sponsor. We got Clan Battles coming on board again for another week. So we'll talk a little bit about them. They got some stuff coming up that we want to share. And then I got a few more questions for you yet before we wrap up today's show. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back here in just a couple of minutes. All right, so I am so excited that Clan Battles has come back as a sponsor of this week's show again. Thank you very much, Clan Battles, for all of your continued support. And if you guys didn't know, they made a huge announcement on Twitter where September 10th, Friday, They are doing a Rogue Company tournament, a 2v2 demolition special there on clanbattles.gg with a $200 prize pool. There are other competitive websites out there, and they're boasting about how much their winnings are, and we see anywhere from $100 to $150. Well, Clan Battles is starting off their very first wide tournament with $200 for the grand prize. So don't miss out. It's $5 per person, $10 a team. It's a 2v2 demolition tournament with the winner bringing home $200. You don't want to miss out. This is an awesome opportunity for some up and coming players. If you enjoy the game, if you enjoy Rogue Company, or maybe you've never even tried it, heck, for $5. $5 is all it takes for you to buy in. Find a friend, find some person off the street, bring them in, and pitch in another $5 because it's could be like playing the lottery, right? You could be the lucky winner. It could be anybody's night. Don't miss out. Rogue Company 2v2 tournament, $200 grand prize, courtesy of clanbattles.gg. Friday, September 10th. The whole thing will be broadcasted live, commentated, the whole works. This is a full-blown produced tournament. Don't miss out. clanbattles.gg for more information. All right, welcome back again. Thank you so much to Clan Battles for coming on and sponsoring today's show. As you just heard, they're having a huge Rogue Company tournament, 2v2 with $200 grand prize on the line. And I believe, Demi, you're playing in that tournament, aren't you?
Yup, cheek clappers. We ready for y'all.
I think you guys were the first team to register. So, that's pretty cool. It's something that is new to Clan Battles. Is this kind of like a buy-in tournament, just $5 a person, but a $200 grand prize on the line. And MPN is sponsoring that event. So good luck to you and your team on Friday, September 10th, starting at 6 o'clock. And if you guys haven't signed up already, you're missing out. And if you maybe aren't, Rogue Company's not your thing, although I think it should be everyone's thing because I love the game. But if it's not, we'll be live streaming it on our Twitch channel, 6 o'clock Friday night. Make sure to go over there and follow our Twitch channel at mpnlivenet and be notified when we go live for that. All right. Enough of all that stuff now. Let's get back into MPN specific stuff. We've talked about kind of, how you joined MPN, what you thought when you first did, and everything that you've achieved throughout your time here in the community. But let's kick it over now a little bit differently. We've talked about a lot about gaming because obviously we're a gaming community, but we offer a lot of other things outside of just gaming here in MPN. So tell us kind of what are your favorite parts about MPN outside of that? We have our social Discord server. We have our graphics and our productions team. We have MPN University, which I can't ever not talk about enough. Is that the right? Yeah, I think it is. And we have a content creation team, our esports teams, etc. What's your favorite part outside of actual just gaming of MPN that you enjoy?
My favorite part, definitely the stream team. I'm a lead over there in the stream team, me and Brown, so we help work with Dents a lot. Pretty much it's my favorite part just because I get to help people out. So like the other day I helped Cora set up our panels. I helped Joey fix a few things with his streams. 'Cause he was using Lightstream and I'm like, I don't know what this is. So I Google some stuff up and I'm like, hey, try this. And he's like, oh, it worked. That's perfect. And I'm like, any little thing I can do to help out the community, I definitely enjoy that a lot. So the stream team is definitely my favorite. But also shout out to the graphics and arts because Cora, she like makes me like my emotes and some other things for my stream, but like I had Cam make me like a random logo one day and I was like, yo, this is dope and I wasn't even expecting it. So definitely like the family vibe in the community is my favorite part of it.
Yeah, and like you said, you are the one of the leads on our stream team, and you've been helping out so many people. Hey, if I can give one piece of advice to anybody watching or listening to this podcast is make sure that your webcam fits inside of your cam box. I don't know why that stuff drives me insane. I just have OCD like to another level. And when I see that, I want to tell people, but I'm obviously not going to do it while they're streaming or on their stream. But hey, if you want my advice, let's start there. Make sure your webcam fits inside of the box. And if you don't know how to resize it properly to make it fit, hit up my man Demi here. He can help you out, or I can too. I just joke about that because I do see it a lot, not just with MPN streamers, but just people out there getting started. Right? This is a great opportunity to join a community, and where you can go outside of your comfort zone and not have to worry about being judged or being criticized. We're here to help, and you being a huge part of that, being able to help new streamers, like you said, get set up and get comfortable and just be able to do their thing to make the content that they enjoy making, just makes MPN not only more unique but more fun for everybody, because not just jump on and invite people to play or whatever. It's you can really contribute to what we're doing here, and you can make this community better with some of the skills that you have outside of just gaming. And Demi here is a perfect example of that. He has an awesome stream, but he's even better at helping people and giving advice. And, it helps create a better streamer in them or themselves, but also it helps out our community too and the people that are out there representing it and taking pride in being a part of what we're doing here. So that's really, really cool to see on a daily basis, at least that I get to. Um, all right. So now we get to talk about the future, right? What do you want to see next? What's the next step for MPN DemiGodShaud as he's progressing through our community? What are some future goals that you have for yourself within MPN specifically?
Right, so I set a long-term goal and like a little short-term goal. Long term is I want to hit the Hall of Fame. Just seeing that little HOF next to the name, and you're like, yo, he helped out as much as possible, So he's like his name's in stone. So that's always the big goal. But as far as short term, I just want to, help my squad out, keep everything going, making it the best squad and preparing other people for their officer positions or moving on to different part of the community. Also one day hit like div leadership and work my way up to the board. So one day I'll get there, but I'm enjoying the ride right now.
Yeah, it's been an awesome ride to get to watch. Like I've said so many times so far this show, and I don't doubt. I mean, you could be wildly successful at anything that you set your mind to, and I think a div leader role is definitely something that could happen fairly easily, at least when the opportunity does show up, and you should definitely take advantage of that. So I'm glad to hear that. Hall of Fame. I mean, hey, I like that. I like that mentality especially because that list is people that have really truly sacrificed a lot to make this community better, and it's about the highest prestigious award that we can give as a community to show respect for the people that have done the things that they did and made this community so incredibly fun and unique. So I'd like to hear that, man. All right, let's wrap it up. I got just one more question for you. It's my favorite segment of the show. I always ask it a little bit differently because I never know how I actually want it to like spill out of my mouth. But when I think about it in my head, it's so much different. Anyway, I'll just ask it and we'll see where it goes. Um, if you could change or add one thing to MPN overnight, let's say I'm sleeping and now you got admin roles of MPN, everything that we do. What is one of those things that you would like to see changed or added for the organization?
I'd probably say like make a thread, like, just for like, people who are having bad days and stuff. So we can sit there and we can actually like, pick each other up and be like, yo, it's just a bad day. Just move on for that. Because, I feel like sometimes people just have bad days and they just need to get it off the chest instead of like holding it in. So that would definitely be like the one thing I would change for the community if I could do it.
Yeah, and it brings up a good point. Something that we do spend a lot of time talking about these days, and rightfully so, is kind of like, I don't like to say mental health just because it has such a huge meaning to it these days, and but you can have a bad day without it necessarily taking a toll on your mental health long term, right? You can just have a frustrated day, things just aren't going your way, or you can be mad about your car giving you troubles, and it sucks for the day, but after that things do get better, to where, like, I picture, at least myself personally, picture mental health being like a long term, it's taking a toll on you, and it's driving you down, um, nonstop. But I think that easily we could definitely help each other out on a bad day situation, because everybody has bad days. I have bad days, I'm sure you do as well. And with the 1,000 people in this server, I'm sure there's plenty of them that are going through some hard times throughout the day, or just frustrated, or upset, or sad, or whatever the emotion may be. And there's so many people in this community, much like yourself, that care about others, that just want to help others and make their day better, or help them in some sort of way. And just to at least realize you're not alone when you do go through those days, that there are other people that experience similar things, or there are people there that do care and do want to make the day better, and make themselves available to do so. So I think that's a very good topic. It's a very good thing that we could do. And I know right now, some of our squads in our community do have that on a squad to squad basis. So definitely something that we can implement and get going. Just because, like I said, I got bad days too. And to be honest, like, I'm so old now that I don't go running to my parents when I'm having a bad day. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I'm taking it up with some of the people I've made friends with in MPN, and I know that, again, there's hundreds of people in our community that either are feeling it some sort of the same way, or are there to help, help make it better. And I think that for me personally, again, the board kind of gets most of that when I'm upset, either mad or sad or whatever. They kind of get to pick up those those pieces, and if they're watching, they'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And I express it in very different ways some days, but no, it's all part of being a part of this community, because I've said it for many years now that this is not your average or your typical gaming community. It is truly a family. There's family vibes here. It's a lifestyle, whatever kind of term you want to use to it. We're closer than just an average group of gamers. And you see that all across our squads, all across our community, just with the camaraderie that everybody has, and the friendships that they make, and the bonds that they create that could hopefully last a lifetime. There's people in MPN, I've said it a million times, that I've known for over 10 years now, um, that I met through online gaming. So it's definitely been a lot of fun. I've met so many great people along the way, and I'm sure you have gotten to, at least,
Oh yeah.
especially now being a squad leader, you get to meet a ton of different people and work with a ton of different people. So uh, I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about. All right, let's wrap it up. Last part of the show. Any shout outs you want to give to anybody in MPN that's watching or listening right now?
Yeah, I got a few. Shout out, you for bringing me on the show. The board for believing in me, giving me a chance for my major position and everything. Definitely shout out to Mediocre because I wouldn't be at where I'm at in MPN today without her. Giving me that little push that I probably needed. But yeah, I was gonna say no as long as possible if she didn't. Shout out to Hippie for always checking in on me daily and everything, and Cora for making my stuff for my streams look a little bit cooler. Shout out to my officer staff, my squad. Yo, love you guys, and that's all I got for today.
Cool, man. Well, hey, thank you again for joining us today on episode 6 of the Mercy Lens. Definitely appreciate your time and everything that you're doing here in our community. It's been a ton of fun to watch, and hopefully people out there watching in MPN get to learn a little bit more about you and at least learn something more about you because you're a very fun person to be around. I enjoy playing with you whenever I get the chance to, and just interacting with you the way that we do on a community level too. Like I said, it's not a boring moment when we're together, and that's one of the reasons why I think you're finding success the way that you are. So appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. Appreciate everybody tuning in and watching or listening. We do plan to roll this out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and pretty much any other listening platform that we can. So that way, if you're out and about, maybe you're driving or walking through an airport or I don't know, whatever you like to listen to podcasts doing, you'll be able to hear soon with the Mercy Lens as we continue to get these episodes rolled out. So thank you all again very much. Don't forget clanbattles.gg, and we'll see you all on the next episode. Goodbye.
Later.